Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Wicked. Chapter 14 of The Murder in Its Afterlife. Sometimes she napped against her will, her chin sagging on her chest, sometimes driving right down to the tabletop, jarring her teeth and rattling her jaw and startling herself awake. She had taken to standing at the window, looking in the valley. It would be weeks before Dorothy and her band arrived, if indeed they hadn't already been murdered and their corpses burned just as Serena's had been. One night, Lear came back from a visit to the barracks. He was teary and inarticulate, and he tried not to care about it, but was too curious to let it go. Finally, he told her one of the soldiers had proposed to his fellows that when Dorothy and friends arrived, the friends be killed and Dorothy be tied up for a little amusement among the lonely randy men. "Oh, men will have their fantasies," said the witch, but she was troubled. What had made Lear cry was that his friends reported his soldiers' remarks to their superior. The soldiers had been stripped and castrated and nailed to their windmill. His body rotated in circles as the vultures came and tried to peck at his entrails. He still wasn't even dead. "It's hard to find evil in this world," said the witch. "Evil is more easily imagined than good somehow." But she was struck at the vehemence of the commander's response against one of his own. So Dorothy might be alive still and was apparently under orders of protection from the highest military officers in the land. Lear held Chistery in his lap and sobbed into his scalp. Chistery said, "Well, we'll wail while we'll wheel," and he cried along with Lear. "Aren't they the sweet pair?" observed Nanny. "Wouldn't that make the sweetest painting?" Under the cover of darkness, the witch slipped away on her broom and saw to it the suffering soldiers died at once. She thought one afternoon inexplicably of the baby lion cub taken from its mother and pressed into service in Dr. Nicky Dick's lab back at Shiz. She remembered how it had cowered. She remembered the fuss she had made about it. Or was she only glorifying herself in hindsight? If it was the same lion, grown up and timid and unnatural, it should have no bone to pick with her. She had saved it while it was young, hadn't she? They confused her, this band of Yellow Brick Road irregulars. The Tin Woodsman was hollow, a tick-tock cipher, or an ever-vescerated human under a spell. The lion was a perversion of its own natural instincts. She couldn't deal with tick-tock clockworks. She could handle animals, but it was the scarecrow she feared. Was it a spell? Was it a mask? Was there merely some clever dancer inside? All three of them were emasculated in some way or another, deluded under the spell of the girl's innocence. She could give the lion a history and think of him as that abused cub in Shiz Science Hall. She suspected that Nick Chopper was the victim of her own sister's spite and magic, casualty of the enchanted axe, but she had no way to place the scarecrow. She began to think that behind that painted cornmeal sack of a face, there was a face she would know, a face she had been waiting for. She lit a candle and said the words out loud, as if she could really do spells. The words blew aside the taper of the grayish smoke that rose from the fatty tallow. If there had been any other fact in the world she didn't know yet. "Fiyero didn't die," she said. "He was in prison and he has escaped. He is coming home to Kiyomiko. He is coming home to me, and he is disguised as a scarecrow, but he doesn't know yet what he will find." It will take brains to think up such a plan. She took an old tunic of Fiyero's she called elderly Killjoy, and had him sniff it well, and sent him down to the valley every day, so that if travelers showed up, Killjoy would be able to find them and lead them home rejoicing. And though she tried not to sleep, on occasion she could not help it. Her dreams brought Fiyero closer and closer to home. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.